be. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You want to be over there a bit. Well, you get so wound up, and when we've got the spot right now, there's an alarm on it.
First thing on the morning, our neighbours arrived to help take them, so we're just distracting them with a little bit of food, but we don't want to fill them up so that they're not interested in the food, because that's what our secret weapon is, to get them on the trailer. So we don't actually have a gate on the on their enclosure, just so we find it easier not to, because it's just another escape route for them. So Stephen's taken a section of the fence out, we've backed the trailer right up to it, and the theory is that we'll use the, she's tired, that we'll use the feed to get them on, lock them in, and everything will go well. It's a low trailer though, so whoever goes on it will have to be small.
Nope.
No, Steve's going to go on it and sort of duck right down, and hopefully he'll get out safely without getting knocked over, because these guys are big, heavy animals. If we get some food on the floor in the trailer, we should be okay. A little bit nervous. And the sheep are just up there out the way, because the driver's actually going back through the big field and up through there, so we need to make sure the sheep don't escape. So we've brought them in the paddock, thrown a little bit of feed down on the floor just to keep them occupied so they don't fight with the pigs. I need to get all that feed off the pigs' back, because it looks like they've got some skin disease at the minute, and you don't want that going in the abattoir. We finished the food and they're getting impatient where he is that they try and get over this fence now, because they haven't had the compound food. But Stephen's got the bottom 2 rails off and he's ready. They're just opening the trailer up now, so we should be good. This attempt failed. They're going to take the next bit of fence off, because Steve thinks that they didn't like the fence. I just don't think they like going in the trailer. One on. I don't know how the heck we're going to get the second one on. Oh, they're separating them. Okay, they're separating them. The chap behind, bless him. Oh, no, 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 no.
Easy.
Nice bread for your journeys.
Do you know where it is, Dave?
It's just before 7 and they're safely away. That's all I could have asked for. I was worrying over nothing, but that's always me in these events. I just want the animals safely, happily, without knowing what's happening. Those guys are in that little trailer, plenty of room. It did look, you know, obviously if you're used to seeing them in like a pen or something like that, trailers are smaller. It's safer for them not to be able to walk around during the transport process. Grace is complaining because as they were leaving, they've eaten their breakfast. So we just gave them, you're not supposed to, but it's not going to matter in a couple of hours. So we've just given them like half a loaf of bread each, just to keep them occupied, so they're totally oblivious as to anything that's going on. They'll be unloaded at the other end. Stephen's following our very kind neighbour up. I've given him some money to cover his diesel. Stephen's following him up. The movement form's all done. I've taken his reg number, because you've got to just put the haulier's name down and the reg of who's taken them, and obviously it's changed. I'm saying obviously, that's if you watched last week's vlog. They were supposed to go last night, but things changed. Anyways, I'm absolutely boiling, not just because of the weather, just time to just calm down a little bit now. We've got time for a cuppa. We're half an hour ahead of schedule. So that's them gone. But now this vlog this week, welcome to another video, by the way. This vlog for this week is all about preparing for them coming back, essentially. I need to make some space in the freezers. I need to make sure we've got the brine for the hams and all this kind of stuff. So I'll come back when I've cooled off. Actually, I'm going to go in and get a drink first. Well, it's the end of the day. It's time for something to eat, and it's still far too warm to do anything, but I'm pleased about that because I don't really feel like doing anything. So emotions have been up and down today after saying goodbye to the pigs this morning, but now it's time to start getting practical. We just need to get through this heat wave, which after tomorrow should be good. So I'm going to water the greenhouse when it cools off later because it's still far too warm in there. It's actually just to give us a little bit of respite for the minute, which is why I've come out to grab some salad. But when it's really cooled off later, I'll get the greenhouse watered. We'll get through tomorrow, which is going to be another 8 degrees on top of what today was. So I'm really dreading that, to be quite honest with you. And then I shall be back on Wednesday, depending on what happens tomorrow. I might bring some footage from that. So once we get through tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is all about preparing for the pigs coming back. So I'm going to need to get some brine made up for the hams. I need to get the space in the freezer, which means canning, this, that and the other. But the weather on Wednesday is going to cool off dramatically, so that fits in quite nicely. But for now, I'm going to go and grab the salad leaf I've just dropped. But we're going to just have some souvlaki for tea tonight with some salad, nice and cool, because it is so warm. Did I mention that? Well, I'm on water duty on what is supposed to be the hottest day, and there's actually a little breeze, so that's helping just a little bit. And the sun isn't blaring, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like a hazy sun, so it's just warm, but the sun's not blasting down on them. So everything's looking okay. Just wanted to quickly check in before we start on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, freezer and all of that good stuff. But everything's looking okay at the moment, under in the shade. So strange without the pigs though. Well, it's finally Wednesday and it's cooled off, which is much welcome, much needed. So it's warm still, but it's just not been anything like it has been over the last couple of days, which was just unbearable. Thankfully, we got through it unscathed though, so no complaints from that respect. But now, as I said, I need to get the freezers sorted, which I've had a little look in today, and we're going to be able to make some space in there. So I'm not going to have to can too much to be able to make that space. But what I do need to do before that is get the rest of these, can you see them? The red currants picked, because the birds are going to get them all, and I've only got I've got about half so far, and we've had a good few kilos already, but there's a good few kilos left, so I'm going to pick them. I've got Grace coming out just now, and she's going to pick the gooseberries for me, and Stephen's doing a repair job on the fence, the bit that we took out for the pigs. So the pigs actually were sent back to Stephen's work today. So he's able to manage to do them at work, which is very lucky really. And they both came in at just under 100 kilos of meat essentially. So that is really, really good for us. So I'm going to do a separate video on that in the next coming weeks, which will be kind of finishing off our pig series videos, but you'll just get some snippets of what we're doing there. So first of all, he's going to be sending the things like the liver and things like that home. So hopefully we'll be getting that tomorrow so that we can process that first. And then on Saturday, I'm going to go in and help him when he's finished work so that we can get everything done. Because obviously he can't do it while he's actually working. He can just use the facilities. Anyway, I best get picking these, and we'll take you along for the rest of the stuff for the rest of the week as well. There's a low-flying bird. So we're in the garage. These are the two freezers that we've got on at the moment. This one I've filled up from this. Oops, I've just stood in an ice cube. I filled up from this one. This was almost full, and this one was halfway full because it had some of these boxes in and things like that in as well. So I've moved as much as I can from this freezer into that freezer, but that is enough room in this freezer hopefully for the pork and all of the bits and pieces from the two pigs that we've just had done, which will hopefully fill this freezer up. I hope it doesn't need more than that space, because that's all we've got at the moment. And basically over the next few weeks that bag's going to go as well. But over the next few weeks, until I start my new grocery challenge in September, which you should have heard about by now because I'm hoping that the video's out for that. If not, it won't be long. Then we're going to be essentially working our way through, literally from top to bottom, what's in these freezers as well. I won't be starting on the pork in earnest just yet, because obviously there's a lot of stuff here that's older that we're going to need to work through. So I'm just going to take these bags of veg into the house. I don't think there's any other veg in these freezers. And basically I'm pleased with that. So we've got a full freezer that's going to work super efficiently, needs a bit of a clean, and this freezer needs a bit of a clean too, but is ready for the pork, bringing it home tomorrow. So that is a good job done. I've just been through the freezer in the house and there was a heck of a lot of stuff that should be in here. So Stephen, when he goes pest control or hunting, I'll wrap things up and just put it in the freezer in the house for it to freeze down. And I haven't been very good at moving it into the garage fridge or freezer even. So all of that in that bag is just game items. So that's why I've put it separate, so that I know if I want something gamey, that I can just go in that bag for that. So that's now the one in the kitchen done. So I can show you that at some point. Well, it's Saturday and we are making a brine for the hams coming home. So later on, we're going to bring all of the pork home from the pigs that got done this week. So I'm literally in the middle of making a brine, and it's a river cottage brine. So we're not making any changes to what we've used before. So this is in the pig book. What's it called? Pigs and Pork from River Cottage. So just getting on with doing that right now before I head over and help Stephen get the sausages and all of that good stuff made. Well, good morning. Another few days has gone by. We have been busy getting all of the pork sorted out. It turned out absolutely fabulous. So I'll show you now the line of pork that I took a video of when we'd got it done. We've definitely got a year's worth. There was a little bit less than last time, but we've chosen to do it differently this time in terms of what cuts of meats we've got and things like that. So we know what works for our family. All of that's in the freezer now, and we've got a bucket of hams brining as well, which you've just seen me making up the solution for. So they'll be ready to come out very soon. It's all looking fantastic. I decided to put the liver and things like that in the freezer, although it's best to use it immediately, completely fresh. At least when it comes out, it'll still be fresh, as in it wasn't sat around, if that makes sense. So we'll get to that soon. In the meantime, I've had such a busy week at work, which is why I've not really had much footage from during the week. It's back on the weekend now. I've got a kitchen to get tidied up. We've got a poodle dog to keep an eye on, and just a busy pottering day, if those two words go together. So I'm going to take you along, finish this video off with what we've got going on today, and then we can get started on a brand new week as well. That was a full tray of oregano in the dehydrator. But anyway, that's plenty for the winter pantry. We have got lots more on the plant outside as well, so I'll be getting more dried too. But I've got rosemary as well now. I'm not sure if I'm going to grind that. We'll see. I'm just going to get it. It's in a brown bag at the minute after it's been dried. I'm just going to get all of the little spindly things off and just get them in a jar. Probably won't grind that though. Do you grind rosemary?
Well, yet again, what we planned to be a quick job has turned out to be a nightmare. So we're just going to give the chimney a quick sweep for the winter while we can't do any outside jobs. And it looks like all the seal, all the pipe that was insulating the flue is just crumbled and it's all come to bits. And then all the vermiculite and everything that was surrounding the flue, as literally a chimney's worth has just come out into the room. So, not happy about that at all, but we just take what we're given, and at the minute we seem to just be given crap, but we'll get through it, we'll get around it somehow. So I've just started to strip all the fire back again. Now I'm trying to put all the bricks back in, put all the plates back in. We'll put some smoking fuel in there and see where we get from there. But we were getting a bit of smoke leak through the roof and the chimney stack, and we've had all that fixed. So obviously this was a problem. So luckily we found it out before the winter anyway, so we'll get it sorted before then.
Well, yesterday ended up being all about the chimney. So what Stephen ended up doing was cleaning it all out as best he could, using the rods to get right up to the top. What we think's happened is the liners eroded inside, or when somebody went up there when they had a look at our roof for us, they said the liners actually attached to the chimney pot. And if you remember, we had somebody in to look at the roof and the chimney pot because it didn't fall, it moved in one of the storms that we had in January or February. And if the liner was attached to the chimney stack and that's actually moved, possibly it's ripped the liner, maybe, that's what we're thinking. So when he's put the flue brush up, it's put a hole in the stack, in the liner, or whatever's happened, and all of the vermiculite and the heat repellent, not repellent, insulant, has all just started coming down the actual liner. Oh my goodness, I've never seen, it just wouldn't stop. Anyway, we finally got all that sorted, and I had to dash out and get some carpet cleaner because the carpet was just black. Thankfully, it's quite a dark carpet anyway, which is just, you know, that's pretty much our lives, everything. That's why I'm in black all the time. So it's as sorted as it can be. He went and got a smoke bomb this morning, or whatever they're called, from Screwfix, lit it, and I don't think he was happy with the results. So we're going to have to figure something out there, definitely before the winter comes. So all the plans of yesterday went out the window completely. And so what I've started doing today, we've had some family around, this, that and the other, and I've been working in the greenhouse. Despite it being a little bit cooler, it's still super warm in there, and we've got some really exciting news I'm going to show you now, and we'll finish off with a little look at what's going on in this front bit of the greenhouse. I've just spent the last hour or so taking the bottom leaves off the tomatoes. These guys here, these 4 pots at the back, were just a jungle, just a total lawn to themselves. I haven't taken as many of the leaves off these as I have off the other ones. You can see this is still super bushy, and I've had to tie them up with bits of string. But they've been doing really well, and I don't want to touch them too much because these are the ones that I've done the least with, and they're actually doing really well. This variety here is called Super Mama, and I'm going to be growing that every year. Because I'm really pleased with how big they get, and they're not kind of all water. They're quite a meaty tomato for cooking with. And do you remember the tomato tree that I was questioning if it was going to survive because it kind of decayed at the top? It got all mushy and it snapped in half. My goodness me, it's just come back to life. When I read about it, they actually enjoy a really harsh pruning. I'm not sure who asked the tomatoes if they enjoy it, but apparently the whole thing enjoys. They've still got no fruit off it, but those guys actually fruit after all of the others have finished, I read. So we'll wait and see. So all is not lost with that. And then the rest of these down here are looking really well. But this is what I wanted to show you. Look, despite all of the blossom end rot, we've got our first tomato. We've also got some aubergines. There's a couple. There's another one over here. Coming along absolutely fantastically, so they are doing great. I think I've put the tomatillo plants on the floor. I can't keep up with the watering on these guys. I'm letting them down big time, so I might put these in the polytunnel because that's got a spare bed at the moment, so we'll see. Anyway, those are there waiting for a decision to be made. The rest of these over here are looking really well. These are the super steak tomatoes. These are more of the Super Mama. Yeah, those are the Super Mama ones. And then I've also got some gherkins that have gone too far, so I'm going to cut these in half, chop them up and give them to the chickens. We had a bit of a sacrifice. Oops, I've just done exactly the same thing again. I moved the branch and those guys fell off, so I'm going to leave them to ripen. I've taken all of the dead cucumber leaves or gherkin leaves off, and I've started training these up with the pieces of string as well. I'm going to leave some of these just to hang over the edge. This is the pineapple sage, which I've been harvesting. And this is another super steak. It says it's an Anaheim pepper, which it's definitely not, but if you look on the inside, it's a reused tag. Super steak. These are an F1, unfortunately, which means I can't keep seed from them, but they are looking really good, so I'm pleased with these. You can see they're a really good size. And then up here, I've just put these yin yang beans because we're going to leave these inside because these have to dry on the plant. So I've just been taking off the dead leaves, and we're just going to leave them to dry. I haven't done anything in the back greenhouse just yet because I got too hot. But I'm really pleased with how this is starting to come on, considering the tomatoes have been so poor for me this year with the blossom end rot. You can see, actually, look. Another example. Really frustrating. Anyway, happy with the rest. At least we're getting some. So these guys now should have enough airflow to ripen up. and we'll see how they get on. But I'm going to take that first tomato in and we'll be having that with a meal this week, sooner rather than later. So thanks for being with us this week. Well, it's been a little bit over a week, but I've vlogged where I can from taking the pigs while the holidays have been on for Stephen and things like that, but I've been working all the time, so I appreciate you guys sticking with us. In a couple of weeks time I've actually got 2 weeks off the paid day job, so I'll be doing hopefully daily or every other daily vlogs instead of capturing the full week, so that'll be an interesting one to see how that works out. But for now I'm going to get back because there's a whole host of work that needs doing over here. So that's it from me this week. Thank you for being here with us. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it and enjoyed it, and if you're new, why don't you consider subscribing, because we'd love to have you along. See you later.